How's it going out there? It's Flobo. It's What's Up, Flobo, episode number 106. And this heat wave in August was kind of the warmest week so far I can think of. And pardon me if I melt and sweat away as we try to do things. First things first, I just want to say that this episode or the other episodes of What's Up, Flobo is brought to you apart by NoNameNerd.com. Do yourself a favor, get yourself some nerd gear. We're talking sweatbands, headbands, your own custom video game jersey and nerd mask over at nonamenerd.com. Use my promo code FLOBITO for a discount. And Wednesday's show, episode 105, the one where I stopped and I outlaid everything I worked on, was interesting because I felt so queasy doing it. I felt so weird talking about myself for as long as I did, but the response has been positive. I think a lot of people, I guess, with their own lives and own algorithms, didn't quite understand the breadth of things that I do, or how I can post something and I feel like I'm bugging you, but with algorithms again, how it just kind of disappears off people's feeds. So yeah, so the response was cool. A lot of friends have hit me up and said, hey, I didn't know you did this or that. Not to brag, I'm just putting it out there. But as promised, I wanted to go a little bit more into Patreon today and what that means to me as a creator and what I'm trying to do in this space. You see, I dabbled with my podcast, New Amsterdam Radio, and I was on a digital network doing wrestling reviews. But the vast majority of these shows came post pandemic, basically from the middle of March to today, is when we really ramped up the creative offerings. Yeah, sure, it's cool to think about what if this becomes like my job, but ultimately, before we even get there, it's just laying the foundation, coming down with your skill set and how you can grow your skill set, and how can you build an audience, how can you build a following to check out your shows. The money will come, you know. But what I'm saying is, I have the privilege and the honor to lay out these concepts and shows with people who probably weren't even in the market to hear me rant about things I saw on Netflix, or didn't quite comprehend what a city for creatives looks like. And here we are. So one of the things that helped me out in that journey is starting a Patreon. Patreon is a platform which allows individuals like yourself to subscribe, to follow me and the way I'm growing my offerings in different ways. I mean, everyone can interpret a Patreon differently, but for me, it's for we to release bonus content, to really engage with people who follow, and to give them early access to new things as well, because those are ones that are coming with me, are joining me on this trip. Now, before I even get into the benefits of joining and subscribing to Patreon at patreon.com/FlowBoys, I just want to say, where does that money go? Right? Because a lot of people see the page, they see that I'm creating podcasts, and there's membership tier levels, $5, $15, and $25 a month, where you can be a part of what I'm working on. And the top tier is called the Boycesterous Crew, and if you guys know me, I really dislike puns, but that one's pretty clever, see, because boisterous is an actual word and my last name. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about what that money goes to first. So, when we talk about developing and growing as a creator and as the shows, everything is little by little. I started What's Up Flobo, this show, with a MacBook Air and the live stream button on YouTube. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it's grown so much. I have a platform, which I use StreamYard, which is the thing you're watching this on, which allows me to do things like schedule posts, or allows me to bring on guests so I can talk to them, like you saw in my New Amsterdam videos. That's a monthly charge. And that is covered by support and donations from people like yourself. And I think that's the more critical things. And even equipment upgrades. I actually had a superior microphone. It's called a Yeti than the one I have now. But the way my system was set up, I had to put it on a platform pretty much away from me. So the audio wasn't as clear as I would like. And this arm, granted, I look for a very cheap entry, a very basic entry. This one, I think, put me back 25, $30. I'm not rolling in it. But it allows me to get a microphone closer to my face. And so that allows me also to download the audio, which now is cleaner audio to put on podcasts. What's Up Flobo After Hours, the Monday night show, is available as a video show and as a podcast. And if you listen to the audio version, it doesn't sound like a bunch of tin cans, you know what I mean, rattling around in a knapsack. So a lot of that came from your help, and a lot of that came from Patreon and patron support. If you're a fan of my merchandise over at Flobito at threadless.com, or if you see the graphics for the show that I create, What's Up Flobo After Hours, draped in gold, yes, I use a lot of do-it-yourself apps. A lot of them are on a freemium model where certain elements are paid for, but the good designs for my t-shirt, or the more thorough designs for my digital offerings, I do contact graphic designers for, and like fellow artists and creatives, they deserve to be paid fairly. So a lot of the donations go to that too. So we're talking about t-shirt designs, we're talking about how every show has its own look and feel, its aesthetic, the intro videos to What's Up Flobo After Hours, the actual music I rapped on with All Alone in the Club, my comedy single, available on Spotify, Tidal, and Apple, came from Patreon and patron donations, because it's really, and I think the most important thing, there's other individuals saying, Flobo, you're small, but we believe in you. You're small, but you have room to grow, and there's other ways you can improve some things. Down the line, I would like to get another computer system so I can start editing and all that stuff. Actually do like really smash bang videos, kinetic videos, and music stuff, and a lot of other project and ideas as well. This is why it's also important that I keep myself accountable, and I'm not just going, thanks for your donation. No, but I'm actually having a plan as if you were investors into the business, right? How can I show you that I am taking your support and applying it to my projects the best I can? So let's talk about what you get. So you want to support the Flobito brand. There's 3 tiers, like I said, $5, $15, and $25. If you got in before August 1st, they were a different tier structure, but don't worry, you're grandfathered in. And what I have offered there is a slew of stuff. There is a creative blog where I talk about my trials and tribulations as a creator. That's exclusively on Patreon. I have a DJ Flobito blog. Every time I go out to a wedding or an event and I write about my experiences and I take photos, that is exclusive to Patreon. Shows like Flobo Saw It on Netflix, yes, it will be available for the public on YouTube, but patrons get at least 2 weeks early access. If you are a fan of the New Amsterdam Radio podcast, whenever I have a guest, that guest has an edited version on the free edition of the podcast. But as Patreon subscribers, you get the complete unabridged interview of everyone I sat down with. So if you're listening to the show on your podcast device and you go, man, I really want to hear more about this guest, being a patron is the best way to do it. I also do Q&A videos. As a patron, you can always hit me up and say, hey, what's the most influential advice you ever gotten? Was a question I got this month. Made an exclusive video about that. And, you get to be in the know. You get to see whenever a new episode drops of everything I'm ever doing. So there's a lot of benefits to that. The higher tiers do get a couple gifts every so often. It'd be now the time to show that a subscription or a Patreon support comes with inherent value, and you're building up something with me. We are building a revolution, one video at a time, one show at a time, one platform at a time. Patreon.com/FloboBoys. I think I post new content there or a new post there every 2 or 3 days. So it's you get a lot of stuff based on your tier of your support, but any bit of support is great. And I understand it's 2020. I mean, I don't know anyone's situation. Unemployment's been dry for months. If you can't really support right now, man, that's okay. Just share it on social media, tell a friend and say, hey, look, I know this guy, he's doing some things. If you have $5 to spare a month, hook a brother up over at patreon.com/FloboBoys. So to recap, bonus content you get, definitely unabridged interviews, gig blogs, photo galleries, exclusive videos. I do those monthly, early access to programming. And in turn, you get to help build some of the equipment and gear I need to make even better videos, some of the graphic design help I need on some of the shows, and also to be able to come up with new concepts to keep this train going, to keep everything flowing. And that is my spiel. Once again, lastly, patreon.com/FloboBoys. But in the meantime, hit me up over there on the social medias at FloboBoys on Twitter, at FloboBoys on Instagram, at Flobito on Instagram. And the website is flobito.com. The Patreon, one more time, the last time, is patreon.com/FloboBoys. That's patreon.com/FloboBoys. And, well, until next time, be yourself and peace out.